Quantum game
Dun, 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 dun,
changers.
dun, dun, quantum game
Experience.
changers.
We're having an experience. Oh my gosh. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm excited to chat with you about one of our projects because we were both thinking like we have this new video series where we're talking about co-creation
Uh-huh.
and we get into kind of I don't know. We just go in different directions with it and what is co-creation to us and so many different topics. And then I'm like, you're like, can we talk about one of our projects? I'm like, yeah, like we should. We should talk about the things that we're building together so people can see an example of what we're doing.
Dun, 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 dun,
So we're
dun.
talking about the Quantum Game Changers experience today.
This came about in I want to say in a very co-creative way because we'd been already together for, I don't know how many months. Been a minute.
Hot minute, yeah.
Yeah, before this popped in. Um, and from my experience starting into this topic, not topic, I don't think I'll call it topic, ecosystem.
Yeah.
Ecosystem. We'd already been talking about certain facets of the game changer without not naming it. I think that was some of the first parts of our co-creation. How was that for you?
Yeah, it for me it was interesting because when we first started co-creating together, I was like, there's it to me, I was feeling already a lot of different possibilities of different projects. And I was like, I don't know which ones we're gonna hold grab onto. Because it just felt like there were so many to pick
Hmm.
from. And I was
Yep.
like, it'll be interesting. And then once this particular vibration like came in,
Uh-huh.
it felt connective to a lot of other things that we both have going on. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. So for me, it felt exciting because it was like, it's a bridge of sorts. It's a way to like embody so much more. Like it's like, and it's something I remember early on telling you, I wish there was something like this, like for me 5, 10 years ago. Like I'm just like, this is the type of experience that I wish I could have jumped into and played with and just had fun on a playground with.
Totally.
So yeah. But I guess maybe to what is Quantum Game Changers experience?
They're
Maybe we should start there. Hello, everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
like, Quantum Game Changers experience. That as we were co-creating, that came through to me as a lot of links from my inner child. It just
Hmm.
came flying up. Now, my inner child, and my child when I was little, who was the way that she perceived wasn't like everybody else, and she didn't know that until later on, where the synesthesia, if you want to call it a clinical term, it was very profound for her. And it was like one giant movie screen where smell was color, sight was geometrics, numbers, words were numbers. That was all very normal to me when I was little.
Hmm.
Um, I could see like vibrational frequencies and numbers, how people talked, like, and it was all interpreting in one screen in my body, in my nervous system. That was all one screen, all at one time. Everything that I was um, uh, perceiving in my reality was integrating at one time as that type of a space. So, like as a little kid, I didn't realize why people were playing certain games. And I would say this all the time. My mom will still tell this to the day where I'd be like, "This is a stupid game, and I don't want to play it." Like literally. I'd be at school and they'd be testing me for certain things and I would tell them that, "No, this is a stupid game and I don't want to play it."
Hmm.
It's kind of based off of that experience, and me truly wanting to embody and manifest in my reality in a way that I obviously haven't before. Wasn't coming onto so much of my physical reality, but it was like I want my inside reality of this mega screen to be immersed in my body so that I can walk it. And I can also be grounded in it. I can be myself in it. And that's another thing is like being that way since I was little, interpreting the world that way. And not understanding that people didn't see the world that way. When I started getting called out for being different or special or da 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 da, all the labels that come with that, that is when I definitely did shut that down
Mm-hmm.
or hid it from everybody. And I used parameters of social connection that I would see as a mask. So how people were interacting with each other, I'd be like, oh, look, I can see the actual pattern of that. I'm just going to fit myself into that pattern so that I can like not be separated from the group,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And that's how that facet of that started. And
Yeah.
then coming into my adulthood and all of this getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, that interpretation of my world was um, like a DMT trip 24/7. You know, like
All the time, baby.
all the time. It was like that. And I really had to find a way to be able to work it through my nervous system to also live in a grounded reality because I'm
Yeah.
in a grounded reality. I'm in reality. I'm no different from any other human. And I do want to throw that out there. In
Mm-hmm.
my experience, like I'm no different from anybody else. I perceive it in my own way. Um, but that was then working through those masks of being pedestalized. Oh my gosh, your gifts are so incredible. Da 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 da. And then my mask would be, let's shut this down because I don't want to be perceived that way. And on
Yeah.
the other side of it was quite horrendous. I mean, from like a non-functional type of space, you know, where this was so intensified for me in my physical body, on how to kind of work that way. So the opposition of that side was not was not pretty at all.
Mm-mm.
Wasn't a pretty situation for me. I of course did use how I perceived the world to create my business and work
Mm-hmm.
with people in that way, whether you want to call it spiritual or energetic or physical, whatever you want to perceive it as.
Mm-hmm.
I did use that. And then heading into the space where we started to co-create together, I was like, something's different. Something different is coming through. Like, here's parts and pieces, and you have parts and pieces. And I had sat with it for a long time, also immersively stepping into my body and my nervous system
Mm-hmm.
to reroute it, retrain it, to work with my soul energy that was coming into my body as a full embodiment instead of like, you know, and this is by no means to anybody who has this perspective as an ascension process outward,
Right. Right.
right? And that was very confusing for my body. It was like, where are we going? Like I'm already there, like I already see all of that, and I don't understand why we're like in this process of like we're ascending. I'm like it's all right here for me, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
realize that not everybody perceives it that way. But also in my own space with that, I was like, no, I want to come down. Like I would like to not be I'd like to come down in my body and actually walk this. I'd like to walk this pathway. And that meant for me, I'm going to put it all on the table, which means everything that I have avoided up to this point, I'm going to call it in. I'm going to start to integrate it. Okay, all these parts and pieces of me that I did, of course, have those masks on for anything that I interconnected with people that was still, for my consideration, a mask.
Yep.
Um, and what is it in me that is without all of that?
Mm-hmm.
And how I view the world in a way that is different. Well, how am I going to take action on that? Because it's cute that I can see it.
Right.
That's great. I can see that some things are not going to work for me. Certain systems. I could never understand why people were being so awful to each other, why we were playing games of control, you know, manipulation, why all these things were popping up. Ever since I was little, I was like, I just don't really get why. Why we're doing this until it had to come to a point where I'm like, okay, I don't get why, but what I'm going to do about it. What am I personally, viscerally, inside my body going to do to change this?
Mm-hmm.
Not from an outside perspective, not from a collective perspective, just like what am I going to do about it?
Yep.
Um, and the game changer came in, which interleaved with my inner child in the game that she perceived this world to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the quantum piece, from my perspective, is creation. It's like a field of creation. How do I want to work with creation? How do my thoughts, my physical actions, my emotions, how I'm perceiving actually form the reality that I'm in, that I'm walking right now? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to create with that? And that was really coming to terms with I'd rather be in capacity instead of chaos.
Yeah, capacity instead of chaos. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a golden gem right there.
I would rather not hustle it. I would rather take a breath here. Okay. I would
Yep.
I would like to rest and receive and actually create from a space of I have capacity to create versus I'm in survival. I'm gonna do this and see how that's gonna turn out, you know, in my
Hmm.
system. And that so that came out of my visceral experience of like, oh, this is where we're at. This is what I need to do for myself. I'm gonna walk this path. Was not easy even during this process, was it?
No, no. There was plenty of like, we're gonna take a couple weeks, sometimes a month or more to like hard pause and like allow things to be felt
Yeah.
very viscerally in like as many aspects as possible.
Yep. Yep. All pieces, parts, facets. Because for me, as I was creating this with you, I wasn't going to get it out there unless I had fully walked it. I
Yeah.
had deep dived in it. I had experimented with it. I had thrown myself into all these spaces where I could be at a grounded space. So whatever I was getting out there could be in a grounded space.
Hmm. That's what I've appreciated so much about co-creating with you in general, but specifically this project is like seeing that you say that and you're not just saying it, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like anything that you're putting out with this, any of the quests, adventures, whatever is out there for people to experience with this is something you have walked deeply and you do not put it out into the world until that is the case. And I really just haven't seen that. Like I've co-created and worked with a lot of people over the years, and I
Mhm.
haven't seen it at this depth before. Like people will know their stuff and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've experienced this whatever." And it's I'm not poo-pooing on anybody in the way they create, but it's like you really dug in there deep to be like, what if I do this? And you like tweak a little something and be like, and go down that path and like, what do and like we would have certain anchor points. If you haven't seen the video, we talk about anchor points being our deadlines because we don't like
Yes.
the deadline word. And we'll shift things around because Z was like, I need to walk this deeper, like, period, full stop. Like, this needs to be like, I can't in alignment with you, like put it out into the world unless that's the case. So the integrity in which that you're working on the and we're co-creating it feels like another level to me. Um, deeply knowing it.
Knowing it until I'm actually perceiving it in my outer reality.
Yes.
Right. If I'm not perceiving it in my outer reality, there's no way I'm going to be getting it out there. I'm like, if I'm not walking it, there's just no point. It's not going to hit off, at least for me, my authentic vibrational frequency, period.
Mm,
That's not real for me. And I will tell people that too. If like, something's popping up and they're like, I have a question about this. And if I haven't walked it, I'm going to be like, I really don't know, but I'm curious about that. So here we go. I'm going to dive into that and see what I experience with that. And that's
mhm.
why this has turned itself into an experience because, we're all living in our own human experience.
Yep.
And I want to be able to experience these deep spaces within myself so that I have the capacity to be able to co-create more with you or anyone else I want to co-create with, which is the biggest part of this game for me too, is
Mhm.
like we hear a lot about these projects and these community spaces and things that we want to build. And I have very personally, physically experienced around the world how these are being created. And I'm excited about that. And also, I have found a fall off or a break apart in several or most of these occasions because most of the bodies are not embodied. Like it's from a space of up here versus I have the capacity for this. I have the capacity to work with you. That is breaking down every construct, every piece of you. It is
Yep.
learning how to communicate with each other, right?
Yes.
Respecting each other's perspective.
Mhm.
Okay, can we actually do this together? And so that was from my experience. And coming back to this is I want that with people. I want to equally co-create with people. I want to
Mhm.
be able to have those community spaces. I want to be able to live in a community space at some point where
Yeah.
that feels. good, we're growing our own food and we're doing all of those things. I do want that. And I know too, and this is coming from me in my own perspective within my own body, I couldn't do that until I've been able to embody and experience and be able to communicate with people and co-create with people from one step at a time.
Yep. I'm right there with you because I have similar dreams and similar things that I would love to
Yep.
be in community. And then I was like, ooh, when those ideas and those dreams were coming in, I would looked around at my physical reality and what I had created for myself, and I'm like, I'm living alone. I I'm like, any of the conversations I have are very like abrupt and be like, oh, I'm scared to say this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have not embodied that where I am going to see it in my physical reality in a way that's going to be sustainable because
Yep.
I'm not taking the action steps to embody that. So that's what it's what we're practicing with each other, but
Yes.
also like too, and I'll throw out different experiments for myself in my day to day and with my housemates and with different people, and I'm just like, oh, this is how this is landing. Okay, cool. And it's all for a greater
Yes.
end. Like I so appreciate the connections I have now, but like I see it as like building to
Totally.
these bigger dreams. So,
Yeah, and it does take one step at a time, like maybe one new person you meet at a time, like not
mhm.
it is as much as your body has a capacity to work with, and that's
Yep.
what the game changer is. It's your own capacity. It's the
Yes.
way that you interact with yourself and your body. It's igniting everything that you have in creation in your own self, and it's putting it to action so that your
Yes.
physicality and the physical manifestation can be there at the capacity you can hold.
Hmm. What I so appreciate about the Game Changers experience is that it's very much meeting people right where they're at and
Yes.
not being like, hey, you're aiming for this. Like, no, like you're not telling anyone what to aim for
No.
or what their thing is. Like, it's very much a like personal, deeply personal like process, but also with added community elements of
Right.
support around, which I find very, very refreshing. Because a lot of times I've noticed in humanity, there's a lot of like, um, kind of just, yeah, examples of like, hey, aim for this, or this is better, or this is the best, or whatever. And it's like,
Yep.
but what if that's not true for me? And then what if that's not
Right.
how this whip body wants to express in this iteration of my larger essence? Like, I'm not aiming for that actually. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I just so appreciate that this ecosystem allows each individual to really hone in on what that is for them
Absolutely.
and then like share it confidently with, this community that's being built or with the world, like however small or big
However
you
you
want to
want to,
go. Yeah.
totally, totally. It's allowing you to create your own ecosystem and how you want to work with that and how you want to work with
Yes.
community. It's a space where you're never going to be told that this is better or da 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 or this is the right space for you. This is what is the right space for you and how do you want to interact with that and how do you like that with yourself and how is your
Yeah.
body feeling in that space and what action would you like to take towards that because the energy, the universe is going to work off of those action steps,
Hmm.
not an outward appearing perspective or just jargon that's talking about this is a real, like your body's going to know it.
Know it. And it's going to be not even a second thought. Like at a certain point when you've embodied it that deeply, it's like that's just your existence here now. Like
Exactly. And you get to keep building and creating off of that. That's the fun part about like our
yes.
experience too is like, oh, once we've embodied a certain piece that we've dove in deep into, it's like, oh, game is on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, building blocks, let's have fun.
It's so funny because like had when we first started down this road, I wouldn't have been able to imagine where things are at now. And that feels very intentional, at least from me and my body. What I can hold is like little nuggets, like building blocks, adding it all up. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, and there's still so much beyond that. And I'm just like, I'm just trusting. And often what you will say too is that pause and that surrender to it. But it's like, I know there's a lot more to build on this because like we were saying, like each ecosystem, each person, like this is a good visual representation. Like there's gonna be
Yes,
quantum game changers and everyone's creating their own ecosystems. It's all interconnected in a web. Like it's so exciting where this could go.
absolutely.
Um, I wanted to see too, if anyone is curious and wants to just feel into the vibration of the quantum game changers experience, I might include a little video here.
Yeah.
It's like under a minute, so you can view that now if you'd like, just to feel into the vibration of it and see what your body says. Ooh, we're back. Magic of editing. Is there anything else that you'd want to say about Quantum Game Changers experience and like how it came to be? Or any reflection questions for folks?
I want to say, like, just a few pieces coming up is the game changer is about you showing up in wholeness as yourself without needing to fix anything or going into the healing deep cycles and getting stuck in those. There's there's all these facets of ourselves, whether that's trauma or that's fear or whatever the case is that comes to the table. And, at least from my perspective, if we're looking at a spiritual essence, um, there's a big feeling that those things need to be left behind in order to do da 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 ascend to be your full self. I want everybody to feel the space where they're absolutely fully accepted for judgments, for fears, for other parts and pieces, for masks that come up. This is a space for that. We're all walking a human existence, and like it's okay to have those pieces be on the table, and that's just another piece of why the game changer came to be what it is because all these little facets and ties and loops that are interconnected with each other is the wholeness of us. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the wholeness of us. That's the frequency we want to hit, the wholeness of us. Right?
Yes.
So this isn't a space where you're trying to get anywhere. It's I'm going to see all aspects of myself and I'm going to really embrace that. I'm going to accept that every aspect, every heck of dark piece, every every piece that's uncomfortable that comes up that I haven't loved on yet, perceived, is welcome in this space. And through that, you get to find the building blocks for yourself to be able to really do what you want here in this reality, to create the reality that you want, to connect deeply with people, which is another piece to this that we co-created together is, if we co-create, how can we keep our sovereignty and be all of ourselves and deeply connect with people
Yes.
without like leaving that out of the game, which
Mhm.
done an incredible job. We've done great with that.
Yes. I'm very, very, I just want to give ourselves a high five with that because like yeah, because there's so much programming and there's so much fear that I've at least felt that I'm like, where's this coming from? And I was like, oh, like there's a little Whit piece that's afraid of like losing Z as a friend if I say this thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, well, like, we can be in our power and our sovereignty, and we can also speak our truth, and we can also be met with love, and like all of those things can exist at the same time. Like,
Yeah. Yep. And I love that this has been a space for that because we've certainly had all the things come up and we've just been very open, honest, and in communication. And it's viewing and seeing other as their own sovereign being,
yep,
not to again fix or anything like that. No saving. It's
yep,
I want to see you for who you are, and what you perceive is important to me because I want to keep this connection going.
yes, yes. I'm so, so excited to have more connections like that.
Uh-huh.
And
You.
And yeah, if I don't know, if anybody's watching this, you've gotten this far in the video and you're like excited about those types of connections, I would love to play with you in some way.
Put it down.
Yes. Yes. I mean, even if it's like a comment that you
Oh,
want to share, um, or if you want to jump in some ways with Quantum Game Changers experience or whatever way, but I'm just looking for more people to co-create and play with in the way that we've been describing. So if that's lighting you up, please let us know.
yeah, please come interact with us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. We'll meet you in the next video.
Go. Love you guys.
Love you.